there's a plenty of room for error for these people that think that Trump is 100% going to prison, that a lot can go wrong, that they're overcharging, they're creating a crime that doesn't exist, they're upgrading a misdemeanor to a felony. Also, Michael Cohen is going to be your star witness.
I mean, the only way I see this going in Trump's favor is if after conviction it goes to an appellate court with a Trump-appointed judge, and that gives the Democrats an out of his own appointee just freed him.
Recuse himself, yeah.
Well, that's their out. To avoid going all the way down.
Yeah, but it would be a state judge. It wouldn't be a Trump-appointed judge. It wouldn't be a Supreme
That's what I'm
Court
saying.
judge.
It would have to only be if it goes to the federal level, having some kind of federal court intervene on constitutional
How would
grounds.
it get to a federal level? It's state at this point. And also the federal prosecutors had already declined to prosecute this ages ago.
I do not see a circumstance where New York political establishment says we've decided to let Trump go. I just don't see it. I do not see a jury of New Yorkers being like.
I think you're right. I don't disagree with that, but I also.
So this ends up with Trump facing sentencing.
Potentially. I'm not saying it's certain. There's a lot that can go wrong.
This is
for them. I mean, and go right for those of us that believe in the Constitution.
Actual justice.
But how?
I mean, I could go to the list again, right? They're overcharging.
But so who's going to intervene and say this is an overcharge? The Democrat DA, the Democrat lawyers, the Democrat population?
Potentially a judge that doesn't want to get disbarred or put in front of disciplinary.
Disbarred from who? In New York State Court.
This is interesting because you're saying nobody is going to follow the rules that exist.
No,
and you're
New
saying
York
that there
Democrat,
are rules.
no New York judge is sitting there thinking, well, the Democratic establishment that controls New York State is going to disbar me. They're thinking I will be disbarred if I don't put Trump in jail.
Well, look, you might be right, but considering how insane these charges are and how damaging they are, this is far from we're assuming what the indictment is. We don't know exactly what's in it yet. It's far from a signed, sealed, and delivered case, right? And here's the thing. Trump's going to try to stretch out the timeline here, and he will use it to his advantage. Every one of these local actors is now going to be under a national spotlight and national examination. I'll give you a couple examples. Everybody now working in the DA's office that's going to touch this case, their social media histories will now be examined. They are not going to be comfortable with conservative, freedom-loving media shining a light on them. And if they're, hey, hold on. Kyle Rittenhouse is largely free today because of free media that was on the street, and we shined a light and we exposed them.
But he was also in it was a Wisconsin court, and Wisconsin is very strongly conservative.
No, not so much. That's not totally true. I mean, Wisconsin has a Democrat governor. It's more sane than New York. I'll give you that for sure. What I'm getting at, though, is I think the New York political community is going to be shocked at how big of a deal this is going to be, how much their failures are going to be put on spotlight, and these people are overcharging him. We know that.
Yeah, but that only matters.
But then maybe
to
it's
someone
so
playing
what?
By the rules, man.
I don't think they're playing by the rules.
So why would they care about overcharging?
Because you're going to find a couple people that still have some shame.
Shame? Who do they fear? So you live in New York. You're a judge who lives in New York City. You know what you fear? You fear Antifa coming to your home with bricks and Molotov cocktails.
Let me have a counter argument. If it's that signed, sealed, and delivered, why didn't Cyrus charge Trump on these? Why brag?
I don't know.
Because there's not unanimity that this is a good idea. That's why.
Well, here's what I see.
This is a risk. If it was, Cyrus would have done it. He was a way better prosecutor, way better respected, way more kind of white-collar law firm. Alvin Bragg is like a street thug that has become a DA.
Who campaigned on going after Trump.
Correct.
Sure
Won, and now he's doing
it. But the fact that other DAs passed on this case shows that there's a risk element here that favors Donald Trump.